Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. We are coming to you live from Yavapai College, the Sedona campus, and would like to thank our sponsors, Northern Arizona Healthcare. And joining me now is Paul with the film Helene.
Helene, we'll go with either one.
Well, I love your accent, so I'm going to go with Helene. And where are you from?
I was born in Oxford, in England, but I live in Santa Monica. I've been here in the US for 20 years. So.
Oh my gosh. You never lose your accent. That's what I love about it.
Well, but the same is true of Americans. When you come to England, you sound American, which you should, right? So that's the good thing. So I hope I never lose it.
So in America, though, we have like different dialects, right? So like if I used to live in New York, so it's like you drink coffee and so it's a little bit different than saying coffee. That's how I say it now, but
well, I've got a very neutral accent. I mean, if you went to the north or to Scotland or anywhere else, the accents are way stronger and a lot different. But yeah, I'm a neutral Englishman.
Well, I could just sit here and listen to the neutral Englishman talk. So, tell us a little bit about your film, Helene.
So, I'm not the filmmaker. I'm the distributor of the film. But I went to Berlin 2 years ago, and I'd seen the trailer and I watched the film, and I really liked the movie. And I made an offer for the film, thinking that somebody else was going to pay way more money than I would. And at the end of the festival, I had the best offer still on the table, so the movie was mine. And that was at the end of February 2020. And I was like, okay, well, I've made a commitment, so I've got to buy the movie. And of course, 2 weeks later, the world shut down. And I've been waiting for the right space to release the movie in. And of course, the older audience, which this movie is perfect for an older audience, those are the people who don't want to go back to the cinema or have been reticent about going back to the cinema because everyone's afraid of getting sick. So I've been holding on to this movie, and it's been in my back pocket now for 2 years. And it's played a couple of festivals, but really not very much else, because I've been waiting. And now we're at Sedona with the film, and hopefully this, I think maybe in the late summer, people will be, fingers crossed there's no more, if there's more variants of variants of COVID, that they'll be milder and milder, and we'll get used to going back to something like normal.
Yes.
And so as the distributor of the movie, my hope is that people will be able to see it pay for it in a movie theater in the late summer.
Well, we can give the audience a treat and show them a trailer of the film so that they know what we're talking about.
Very good.
Miten selittäisit teoksianne? Miksi olette maalannut sotaa ja köyhyyttä? Ei soveliaita aiheita naistaiteilijalle.
Kun taiteilija työskentelee, hän ei koskaan ajattele teoksensa selittämistä. Inspiraatio tulee samanaikaisesti sekä sisältä että taiteilijan yli. Enkä myöskään pidä siitä, että minut leimataan juuri naistaiteilijaksi.
Te olette lahjoilla siunattu taiteilija. Me pidämme Heinarin kanssa huolen siitä, että myös muut tulevat jälleen ymmärtämään.
Haluaisin pitää tämän miehen kokonaan. Kun hammasharjan, vain minun. Kun hän palaa, paljastan itseni. Älä puutu asioihin enää. Uskotko, kun sanon, että tuhoan sinut? Jos teet niin, uskotko?
That was like so powerful.
I've never seen it on the big screen, so this will be when I'm going to watch the film on Sunday night, and it'll be the first time I've seen it in the cinema. So I'm watching the trailer again. I'm really looking forward to it.
And I got goosebumps like through the whole, like, it's just very intense. It's amazing.
Well, so Helene was living with her mother in this hut in the middle of nowhere, and somehow this art dealer found out that she was a painter, and they went to the house, and there were 159 paintings, and you can look her up online, and you can actually see there was an exhibition in London. It wasn't the Tate Gallery, but it was maybe the National Gallery, and she was an incredible painter. So they sold all of her work. And at the same time, as the trailer shows you, the assistant of the art dealer, she fell in love with him, but it was an unrequited affair, and it nearly destroyed her. But she recovered, and it was he was her muse for a while.
Mm-hmm. How difficult is it to? I mean, it sounds like when you saw this film, like immediately you knew that you wanted this film. So as a distributor, how hard is it to spot that film that you think is going to make it?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you go to Cannes and you see the films in competition, I mean, this year you got Drive My Car and The Worst Person in the World, and if you go to those screenings and you go and watch them, it's not difficult to think, well, I'd love to have that movie. It's a question of whether you can afford it, because I can't compete with the bigger distribution companies. But they can only take so many films, and every now and again a film of this quality gets overlooked by everybody, and then I get to pick it up. So if I had my way, I would have bought Parasite and Parallel Mothers and Drive My Car, but I can't afford them, and other people did.
Do you have any tips for filmmakers, like up and coming filmmakers, on the level of how do they get their film distributed?
It's an interesting question, because I've been meeting so many people who've made very low budget, micro budget movies, and I'm actually starting to buy or work with those distributors to get their films out onto digital and get them seen. The ones I see, there's a couple of films that I'll be releasing this year that are micro budget, super independent American films made by 3 people and a dog, and they're quite good, and therefore they should be seen. So I think filmmakers need to get in touch with as many film distributors as they can, try to, because every time somebody sends me a trailer, I think, well, this trailer could be the next 3 years of my life. It could change. I could pay for a new car. It could pay for my mortgage, right? You have to be optimistic every time somebody sends you something. So I think if you have a good trailer and good marketing materials, then every person, if you send a link to someone, everyone's got 2 minutes to start watching a trailer every day. That's the key thing, because if you can't sell the film in 2 minutes, then you can't sell it in 90 minutes either. So get a good trailer and don't give up. And then if distributors don't want to see the film, go to film festivals. And if you come to enough film festivals and you can win some prizes, that will also make us at least look at the films. That would be my best advice.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I know a lot of filmmakers who have come here in the past, and I watch their journey and watch how many actually film festivals that they go to, and some of them go to like 50 film festivals, and then you get to see it does make it look like that they're everywhere, and they garner a little bit more attention than somebody who doesn't do that.
But it's got to be also international film festivals, because there are a lot of very small film festivals in the US that don't really mean anything. Because you don't want to just get a laurel for the sake of a laurel. You want to try and get you want to be in festivals where there's a really good selection of films. For example, Sedona has, I was looking at the catalogue, there's a really interesting and varied selection of movies. It's not just picking movies for the sake of having a festival. Because sometimes it looks like it can go the other way. Mm-hmm. I've been to festivals where I've turned up to watch my film and there are 3 people in the audience. What's the point of this festival? And then I go to festivals where there are 3 screenings are sold out, and those are the festivals you want to be in and have the laurels from. Mm-hmm. So I think it's up to filmmakers to also pick wisely the festivals they choose.
Is there anything that you look for in particular in looking at a film to say, oh, this is it?
Well, my theory used to be a good movie is a good movie in any language. But now, since the pandemic, and having to and our struggles to get people to go back to the cinema. Now it has to be a great. You know, my bar has gone from good to higher than good. It's got to be, because otherwise, how do you get people to pay attention? But that's the key for everybody right now, is how do we get people to pay attention, because our kids are on their phones and nobody is looking outside. Nobody wants to go outside. So I don't know. There's no. I have no barrier to any kind of movie. I'm going to sit down and watch it. And if I'm enjoying it, I figure if I like it, there must be somebody else out there who'll like it, and that's my general philosophy.
You know, it seems, I just remember my younger days, like in films and stuff like that. It seemed like the film timeline that you would be able to see a film or whatever was a lot longer. Like it spread over almost like a year, you know, that people talked about the film. And now it seems like the cycle of films are a lot quicker.
It's true, but I don't see. I'm so stuck in my ways. I still refuse to do the whole media. You know, goes into theaters on a Monday. It's on iTunes on a Tuesday. It's on DVD on a Wednesday. No, I'll play a film for a year still, and try and get it seen by as many people as possible before I go to digital and DVD. But it's my company. I can do whatever I like. My bad decisions are my fault. So I still take that approach, because I remember there was this movie, The Last Duel, the Ridley Scott film, came out, and he was complaining on social media that it had come and gone in 2 weeks. Well, it was released just before Christmas. Everybody's busy. I just didn't have a chance to go to the cinema because I was busy working, and I wanted to see it on the big screen, but it had gone. And then it was like, now it's on HBO, and I can watch it 30 days later. But I wanted to see it on the big screen, so we are all busy. So I figure I'm just going to I'll stick to being call me a Luddite or a classicist, and I'm going to stick to that philosophy for now. I mean, if a filmmaker said to me, I want to have my film in theaters on a Monday and on video on Tuesday and digital Wednesday, I will do it. But that's not my preference.
Do you do workshops at all for filmmakers to learn about distribution, or do you offer any like advice if somebody were to find you? Like, oh, look.
If people find me, I will. I mean, I get hired to watch films and comment on films and all of those things, but I don't. You know, if somebody was to say to me, "Oh, come and do this," I'll go and do it. But usually, my workshop is someone will send me an email, and I'll look at a trailer, and I'll start having a conversation with them, and then I give advice, and it may be that they go somewhere else. Because my theory is, look, I can only pay you this much, so I can help you. But then if somebody else comes along and offers you $100,000 for the movie, which I can't afford, you need to take the $100,000. I won't be offended, because it's in your best interest.
Right.
So yeah, but that's also, not everybody thinks like that. So.
Well, thank you for the advice. I think it's good. I think at least somebody can learn something out there, right, for what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So, and tell us, when is the screening of your film?
7:00 on Sunday evening.
On Sunday evening.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, it's even the subtitles that I saw. I mean, it's pretty. It looked like a beautiful film. So,
it really is, yeah.
So I can't wait to see it and hear how the audience enjoys it as well.
Very good.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for being with us, and it was great having you here. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we will be back with more from the Sedona International Film Festival after this.